It's time for WrestleShoot. The beast comes out in the dead of night. WrestleShoot eats a Tuesday night. Rob and Chris don't pull the punches, bitch. WrestleShoot. Breaking it down, WrestleShoot. Telling the facts, WrestleShoot. Stories on the road, WrestleShoot. That's our fire subjects. No party ever escapes their sight. Coming at you live every Tuesday night. Hey, WrestleShoot. Anti-social network, WrestleShoot. Sticky and hot, WrestleShoot. Sometimes act like jerks, WrestleShoot. Always bringing all the guts.
Oh, yeah, baby. Here we are. We are back again. You see, I'm wearing the old hat. I'm still feeling horrible. But let's still try to have a little bit of fucking holly jolliness. This is our last show of 2025. And this is WrestleShoot, the best goddamn three-way dance on the air. I'm Wild Thing Rob Wiles. Down below me here, this little pudding. This is the great and powerful Max Payne. And, of course, sitting right next to me is the lovely and talented, the ever popular, ever charming, my hedgerow life mate, Chris goddamn Casanova. Woo!
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. So, guys, you know, we usually go ahead and we do the what really pisses me off thing, right? And this week, I'm going to go ahead and take the what really pisses me off, if you guys don't mind.
Hold on. Wait. What the fuck? Why do you get to just go first naturally?
Yeah.
I think I have maybe
What?
some say in it. I mean, for Christ's
Because
sake.
you went last week.
I
and
know
he
that.
goes every week.
I might have a good one this week. What if I got a good
All right.
What if
All right. Hold on. We're going to settle this. So let's do rock, paper, scissors. How about
All
that?
right.
Is that fair?
All right, ready?
Perfect. We'll go Rochambeau shoot. Ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, shoot. Fuck. Ready? 1, 2, 3, shoot. Shit. All right. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3, shoot. Son of a bitch.
Guys, come on. Let's get together. Let's be serious here. Stop picking the same thing.
All right. Ready?
Let's do it again. Ready? Go.
1, 2, 3, shoot. Fuck. All right, so this week we're going to go ahead and do what really pisses me off, started by our buddy Max.
Uh-oh.
So, I don't know. Is it just fucking me? But we all use Amazon, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, have you seen the newest goddamn commercial for Amazon?
No.
Now they got this fucking commercial about tipping your fucking driver. Hey, give your driver a fucking tip. Hey, here's a fucking concept. How about you cash in those $2 fucking billion yachts and pay your fucking drivers a decent living so that we don't have to fucking supplement them? Are you fucking ribbing me? We're already paying the biggest Jeff Bezos, the biggest billionaire in the world, and now we're expected to tip the fucking Amazon driver as
You like
well.
a pizza guy?
I got
you like a pizza person?
Fuck you.
Jesus.
Wow.
Holy shit.
So
Right?
they're like pizza delivery drivers now. They're getting tips.
Yeah, no shit. It's like this commercial. It's like this cute little commercial. So the last guy that just dropped off your fucking package for $3, why don't you tip him a $10 fucking tip? Go kiss my ass, Jeff Bezos. Sell your fucking yacht.
But like Chris said, you tip your pizza guy. Why wouldn't you tip that guy?
Yeah, but the reason is because it's completely fucking different situation. Come on, in fairness, man, the pizza guy, he's out there banging out as in a fast food world, and what can he possibly make for a living in a fast food world like that? pizza guys and fast food people notoriously get paid like shit. You're working for, it's funny because right after that commercial, there's a commercial out that talks about Amazon and what a great company they are to work for and how wonderful it is to work for Amazon. Well, then pay your fucking drivers. So, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the moments where Walmart doesn't pay their employees above the poverty level so that they can
that's terrible.
benefits. It's like, fuck you, pay your employees well so that, I mean, it's almost like you're saying to me, you know what, I can't quite afford to pay my drivers well enough to deliver your packages for you. So I need to, you need to give them a little extra for delivering your package. To me, I'm already paying all of Jeff Bezos's wages and all of his company's wages, and now you're asking me to tip the driver. And quite frankly, the whole tipping thing in this country, in my opinion, is way the fuck out of control. And I'm a good tipper. I love taking care of people who serve me, and the drivers that work for Amazon. It just pisses me off that somebody who makes as much money as Jeff Bezos has the audacity to run commercials that should suggest that I need to tip their fucking drivers.
I wonder if they're talking about their drivers or the flex drivers, the ones who aren't actual Amazon employees.
How do you tip them though? Like, so
Probably
it's not like
on the
they're bringing
app.
a receipt there and you're signing off on it. Like, what do? You tipping them on when you first buy?
That's what now you got to go into their app. That's the fucking ironic.
Oh, okay.
Is go in and tip your latest driver and give him a thanks for fucking delivering your package. Well, so now what do I got to do that to the fucking mailman too? Do I got to do that to FedEx every time they show up? UPS, every time a fucking UPS guy shows up, I got to tip him too? It's a fucking horrible precedent. It's not a Pizza Hut driver. It's not a fucking Taco Bell guy that you fucking contracted who's out there hustling his ass off trying to make $50 a night. He works for one of the richest company in the fucking world. I'm sorry. Pay your fucking employees well.
Okay, but in fairness, your average pizza delivery driver gets a minimum wage base, and then every delivery they make, they get $1 or $2 just for making the delivery,
like
and
a delivery charge.
Yeah, and Amazon drivers don't get that.
But that's the reason they don't is because they're working for the fucking company that just the previous commercial is bragging about how great of a company it is to work for. If it's that great of a company, then why do we have to tip their drivers? Their drivers should be there should be people waiting in line to be Amazon drivers, like people who work at Costco, man. I've heard over and over again. Costco employees it's one of the most sought after jobs in the United States.
Wow.
Why isn't an Amazon driver the same kind of fucking thing? And I know a lot of Amazon drivers. It's a tough, shitty job. And to me, that's my point. What point does a company that makes as much money as Jeff Bezos does have a responsibility to pay the guys that are doing the job?
Sure,
that's all the point is. You're asking your guys, and again, Rob, do we start? So then, if you're going to start setting that precedent, so then do you have to fucking tip UPS every time they show up? Do you have to tip fucking FedEx? Do you realize, man?
Yeah.
You'd be sitting there all fucking day tapping fucking. Oh, let me tip the FedEx guy. Let me tip the UPS guy. Let me tip the fucking mailman. I mean, where does it stop?
Okay, well then let me pose a different idea to you. You go to Applebee's, you get a dinner, you tip the server at the end of the day because she brought you your food. If you're sitting in Taco Bell lobby and they bring your food out to your table, do you tip them? Most people say no. I say, why the fuck not? They make minimum wage, period. No extra anything.
You ever seen that movie Reservoir Dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's Mr. Pink, isn't he?
Right?
Yeah, Mr. Pink.
But then I agree with you, man. I've been the problem is I don't feel guilty about saying this, and here's why. I've been fucking tipping fast food people long before it was ever cool to fucking tip fast food people. I can't tell you, man, when I was in the wrestling business, I'd roll through Miami subs and those fucking poor kids back there working their asses off. It was for me to hand them an extra $20 and say, hey, man, go have a good meal on me tonight. You know, get the fuck away from here and go buy yourself a good meal.
Go
And
get a little bag of weed, more like it.
right. I did that often. All my point is in this is, one, how dare you ask me to do that? Two, how dare you provide, you know, it's almost like you're demanding it of me because they're doing you a great service by delivering your package. I'm sorry. They work for you, and I already fucking paid you and paid you well to deliver that package to me. No one ever said to me when I started using Amazon, oh, now I got to start tipping the fucking driver too. To me, it's just another fucking, to me, it's like, it's so insulting to say to me, yeah, you should tip them because, you know, they're struggling. Well, the reason they're struggling is because you're not paying them the wage they deserve to do the job.
Hey, first of all, Max, I want you to settle down before I call your probation officer. Relax over there.
I'm gonna call Mr. Pink from now on. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Secondly, Mr. Pink, when you order DoorDash, do you tip them? And if so, what's the difference?
I just told you the difference is DoorDash. Those folks are not an employee of a company that's a fucking billion-dollar corporation.
Neither are flex drivers, and I believe that's who they're referring to.
Yeah, but the point being is, if you're an Amazon employee and you just watched a commercial about the guys who are standing in the warehouse, and they're the guys going, yes, working for Amazon is one of the greatest jobs I've ever had in my life. You know, and then you're fucking telling us, oh, but you need to tip the poor fucking drivers. Why? Why do you have to do that? And the reason is because they pay their drivers and treat their drivers like shit. If anybody has any reason to look in the mirror, it's not the people buying the packages that are coming to your house. It's the motherfucker who's running the company that has figured out how to the bottom line. Those are the people he can pay the cheapest and cheat the most. The last guy with your product. You know what it's like? It's like a bank teller. The person closest to your money is the one that makes the least. And inevitably, that's what Amazon's doing now.
I want to share something funny with you real quick. So I used to work for DHL, and it was like Amazon Flex, where you didn't work for them, you just did independent taking their packages out. The day I decided I wasn't going to do this job anymore, just as an experiment, when I would knock on doors and they would answer, I'd give them their package, have them sign for it, and I go, I did have to climb 3 flights of stairs. You'd be surprised how many people didn't even question it. We just hand you $2-3. And when you just give somebody $2 or $3, that could just change it from a horrible fucking day to I don't feel so bad about myself now. So you don't think we should tip Amazon? I'm going to go on record and say I think we should. Chris, what do you think?
It might as well. I think with the whole expectation of things, it seems like it's more and more expected in any industry now at this point, where like everybody has to get tipped. Even coffee shops do it. You have to tip. They put the little thing on there. You have to tip everybody. It's just getting to the point where it's getting out of hand. So I'm gonna agree with Max. I don't think they should get paid.
I agree with you though, Rob. The funny part is, brother, I agree with what you're saying. And you
are making my head hurt already.
No, I'm not. And the reason I'm not is because I agree with you. But I agree with what Chris is saying because I don't want you to fucking throw commercials on the air and make me feel guilty because I'm not fucking tipping the goddamn guy. It can't be an expectation. It's got to be because I voluntarily feel like I should do that for the Amazon driver. Not because the fucking Amazon is running commercials telling me that I need to do it. Because when they tell me I need to do it, it's like fucking Walmart paying their guys not enough money that they can go out and get goddamn welfare benefits.
It's forcing you to do it, and that's not cool. It's like you're passing.
In my opinion, if you're going to fucking deliver for Amazon again, I know for a fact UPS, that's a sought after job. I knew some UPS guys. Those guys make bank. They work their balls off, but they make bank, and the company treats them really well. The Amazon drivers, they get treated like shit by Amazon, And my point is nothing more than fuck you. Amazon, you step up and make your drivers happy first. And I guarantee you there won't be commercials on about me tipping your fucking drivers.
Hey, Chris, I hear you were just about to make a European point. I know where you're going with it, but give me 1 second.
Yeah.
So Max, let me ask you this thing, because what is kind of boiling down to the end of this part of the conversation. What it's boiling down to me, what I'm hearing you saying is you just don't necessarily like the commercial, not the fact that they're putting the option
That's
to
what I'm
tip
hearing
the
too.
drivers, but you don't like to be told. So if you were running their advertising campaign, how would you let people know that you can now tip the Amazon drivers? Or would you just not and just put the feature on there and hope they see it?
I'd do it. Here at Amazon, we pay our drivers so well that they love working for this company. Just like the commercial you saw 30 seconds ago about the guy who works in the warehouse and how much he loves the company. It just so happens I already know another couple of Amazon employees that lost their jobs over age discrimination. Amazon is a box of assholes. And so
totally.
Terrible.
the thing is, the difference would be, you know what? If I was running that commercial, I would say, here at Amazon, our employees and our drivers, they love to work for us. But it sure would be good for them to hear from you every once in a while because they appreciate what you do. And to have them say that and not lie about it. Because if they said that publicly, that they take care of their drivers, they'd be fucking lying.
And Chris, let's take this one home with your European point.
No, it won't take very long. Europe's got it right. They don't tip at all. Like they pay their employees high wages, and if you can tip if you want, but you don't have to. It's not expected, and I think that's great. I wish we could adopt that type of system here.
But over there, they don't call it a tip. They actually
But whatever it's called, they don't tip though.
Well, but they actually go with the proper of gratuity. Showing gratuity after your meal, rather than tips to ensure proper service. Like, if I don't tip you, you're going to spit in my food, kind of thing. Because
gratuity here too, though.
But the European
here too,
they should.
European hate fucking
they have
because they do tip. I'll tell you that. I lived in Europe long enough to know that the English and all the fucking Germans, the people that I actually lived around long enough, they could not fucking stand it that we were fucking it up for everybody else. I already pay enough money for my meal. And the other side is if you've been to Europe, Europe's a lot different than America, man. In Europe, you go in and you sit down for a meal, you're there for 2 fucking hours because you'll sit at a table for 30 minutes before the wait shows up to your fucking table. It's a hell of a lot different than it is in America. So there's big differences. Why they don't tip in Europe is there's a lot of reasons beyond that.
All right,
it's pretty very
just something that really bothered me, man.
Now let me get into what really, really fucking bothers me, and it's something that I have recently really put some thought into again, and it sounds so stereotypical for somebody to say, but a dude who puts his hands on a fucking woman out of anger, they do so much goddamn damage to the world in general. You know, I saw a comedian that almost made me piss myself because I was thinking about it. And I turned this comedian on and he says, I saw a TV commercial where they're like, oh, there's never, a reason or justification to put your hands on your wife. And like, what domestic abuser is going to see that commercial and be like, oh, fuck, I'm sorry, baby. Whoopsie daisy, my mistake. No, fuck you. If you're the kind of dude who gets pissed off and starts smacking your women and your children around, dude, seriously, fuck you. Fuck all the way off. That pisses me off to this deep seething level where I tend to react in extreme violence myself, which is probably not the correct answer. But putting hands all over some dude who ain't man enough to fight a man feels awfully fucking good. Now, people might think, what the fuck does that have to do with wrestling? And I will say, what does Amazon have to do with wrestling?
Well, but by the same token, that's something that really pisses me off too. And I think if you're any kind of a real man, the thing about a guy that fucking thinks he's gonna put his hands on a woman and do that physically to a woman, you're not a real man. You know and the funny part is it's almost shitty to say that because you're not insinuating that he's a woman, because a woman wouldn't do that either. You're saying that he's a fucking complete and utter piece of shit. If you think you're going to put your hands on a woman and justify that in any way, shape, or form, walk the fuck away and get away from it. But for a man to touch a woman in anger is wrong at every fucking level.
Wow.
And you know the reason that another reason I brought this particular.
But what happened though? There has to be a reason why you brought this up.
Chris, it's like we're on the same page again, my friend. That's why we were such a great tag team.
Tagging in, man.
Fuck yeah, dude. Oh, Rob's getting ready to switch the heat. Let me get mine in.
That's right.
So, the three, and now I'm going to drop this ball a little bit earlier. It's not all the way put together yet, but it is going to be because we want it. So everybody watching, the three of us have decided to come up with the plan. And what that is this is going to be Artists Against Abuse. And to kind of really just cut down to the meat of this, I'm talking to old Max on the phone the other day. And I'm really excited because I found a Squire bass guitar that was beat the hell down in a pawn shop for $40. So I grabbed it to make it the Fixer Upper. Like, Chris, you remember the 5-string Fixer Upper project I bought?
Yeah.
So it's similar to that, right? And Max tells me, God, I've always thought it would be cool to take an old junker, fix it up to its former glory, auction it off, and donate it to a charity. And I said, wait a minute, give me a minute. As my brain, because Chris and Max now both know how my brain, once it grabs a hold of something, dude, it just pushes through everything. We're making this happen. So our thoughts are quite simple on this to get it started. Is I personally have a great soft spot for the Hope for Her Foundation here in Tampa, Florida. They offer a lot of services to battered women and children. They offer, housing and employment, substance addiction. They offer you help with that. Like, they really reach out. They're completely nonprofit. So our thoughts are, I still have this 5-string I'm fixing up, and Max has got himself a 6-string that he was getting ready to throw some work into. So we're thinking maybe we go ahead, we patch these axes up. We come on out here, one of the bigger clubs in Tampa that play national acts. We'll get the national act to autograph the guitar. We'll auction it off, and 100% of the proceeds will go to Hope for Her. And then the three of us can get together in person and do a live fucking WrestleShoot together.
All right, man, I love it. I'm down. I've been fixing guitars up for decades. Since I started playing, I love messing with guitars. I've learned. I remember when I first started out, what a hack I was, and over the years, just learning how to fix shit, understanding the electronics, understanding the neck, how to straighten the neck, how to adjust the frets, how to adjust the truss rod. So I'm totally fucking down with this, man. I love the idea, and I think it's a great idea, Chris. I think it's something that anybody who's worth his salt would love to get on board with this.
And not to speak in behalf of Mr. Casanova over here, but I know firsthand that he goes from zero to homicidal in a flash of an eye when he sees a man getting physical with a woman in the wrong way as well.
I'm that way, man.
Yeah.
There's no fucking space for that in the world, man. It's just right. It's so wrong. It's unbelievable. And I'll tell you that the first word that always comes to my mind whenever I see, hear, watch, and I understand anything about a guy who does that, there's only one word that comes to mind: coward.
To be honest, that word comes to my mind as well. But another word that comes to my mind, and this isn't me really trying to defend the man, but a word that comes to my mind is survivor. Typically speaking, that comes from a man who watched his own mother be brutalized and was himself brutalized and doesn't know other ways. And what I like about Hope for her is for men who have those problems, they'll offer outreaches for mental health evaluations to try to help the man as well. Because not there's plenty of men who will lose their shit, throw a beating on their woman, and then immediately regret it, but the deed is done. So what do you do now? There are things you can do now. There is help out there for you. And if you don't want to go to a doctor and seek help, if you don't want to go to a charity and seek help, come see me. I'll help you the fuck out. I'll help you out real fucking quick, buddy.
Personal choice, man. I think it's personal choice, to be honest. That's my take on it, though. If you
well, that's what they say about drug and alcohol.
Hold on.
Too, but once you
see
get so
someone
far,
going through that, then why do it?
I guess the part that I don't understand is, like you were saying, Rob, is, child abusers and women beaters and that kind of stuff. If you really are any kind of a human being, if you actually grew up in that environment, to me,
you do the opposite, right?
Yeah.
How do you then change your life to make sure that the cycle stops here?
That's exactly right.
How does it end with me? Because if I continue doing it, then I'm only passing it on to my fucking kid as well. And that's the part to me that I guess I've never understood is if you are a guy who watched his mom get the shit kicked out of her, how could you not, every time you even think about raising your fist to a woman, go, what the fuck am I doing, man?
That's a good point. My point was to both of your point. My point about God, we got to move on past this. We're like a half an hour in, but let me let me relate this here. So my father, my dad, he came from an alcoholic, not an abusive, but a mean fuck of a father. And my dad did make that choice of I know exactly what alcohol does to men in my family, so I'm going to stay away from it. But he still suffered so much emotional and mental abuse from this man that he didn't know he was handing it out to me and my sister until it was already done and the damage was done. He at least had the foresight to constantly be seeking professional help on how to get around it. But even him, because my dad, he literally had a genius level IQ. So for somebody for that level of intelligence to allow pre-programming throughout your life to trigger this reaction on your children the way that your dad did to you and not recognize it till after, that speaks to the whole problem to me. And the fact that my dad actually was held accountable by mom, right? A guy who beats up his wife typically is only held accountable by the law or other guys who see it.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we get into a topic for tonight, gentlemen?
I don't know. You're on a roll, man.
Yeah, I'm down. I was having a blast. So, hey, why not just switch gears and fucking hit third gear and sail away into the distance? Let's go, baby.
So here's a question for you guys. And because let's be honest, professional wrestling is paradox, right? So why do we as a whole society love scripted reality so much? And let's be honest, it started with wrestling, didn't it?
Or circuses.
But wrestling started in the circuses. We were all with the parties.
No,
it's funny.
Right.
I actually studied the history of wrestling in college, and it's amazing how old professional wrestling is.
Yeah.
I actually read an article about a wrestler from 726 BC. His name was Milo of Cretan, and he was a professional wrestler. It's a great story, and he was wrestling was the premier event at the Olympics. It was done in the nude. They rubbed themselves down with oil and threw sand on each other.
Rob would love that.
Yeah.
Best of 3 falls, and then after each fall, they used a utensil called a strigil, and they would scrape the sand off and the oil off, and they'd re-oil themselves, and then go for the next fall. But here's the amazing part, you two. the amazing part is Plato himself said that the professionalism of athletics will lead to the downfall of Greek civilization. And what was fucking happening is wrestlers were throwing matches. Like a guy from Sparta would come to Troy and he'd throw the motherfucking,
down.
You know, because there was money involved, and the fucking
of course, gambling.
would start warring against each other, and pretty soon the fucking whole country of Greece was embroiled in the controversies that surrounded the professionalism of athletics. And if you study the Colosseum, I got to tell you, the whole gladiator thing and the whole Colosseum shit, that shit was all a work too. There's no fucking way that professionalism of wrestling isn't as old as the Roman Colosseum. So professional wrestling, in my opinion, is as old as humankind.
And
That's interesting.
let's be very honest. Collegiate, real wrestling, God, it's just as boring as a fucking woman with no tits. It just, who wants to sit there and watch an entire real wrestling tournament, right? There's no storyline, no glitz, no glamour, no passion, no drama. There's just Johnny and Michael from Sarasota High are going to have them a little match. Who gives a fuck, really, at the end of the day?
But you know what it is? You know what it is, Rob? Let me tell you what it is, man. It's education. It's the way we're indoctrinated in this society. When you see a professional wrestling match and you watch an amateur wrestling match, you're right. You've hit the fucking nail right on the motherfucking head. If you're not educated enough to understand what makes an amateur wrestling match interesting, so that, I mean, first of all, if you've never even grappled for 30 seconds with somebody to see how fucking hard it is to do, and secondly, if you don't understand the principles that are at work, like when you go to fucking Iowa or Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, any of the states where wrestling is as common as basketball and football, well, fuck, everybody in the audience loves wrestling because they all understand it. They all watch their kids do it from the time they're born, and they all understand the language of amateur wrestling. So when a guy fucking does a grand mal throw and exposes the other guy's shoulders, or he's going for a pin, they all get it. And it's not boring because you understand the dedication it takes to fucking physically overthrow another human being. And now I'm going to answer the question that you ask. Why do we love professional wrestling? And I'll tell you why. Because it's just exactly like a motion picture. You walk in, you put your hands on the fucking handrails of your chair, and you go, all right, take me away. And you willingly suspend your disbelief, and you want the fucking good guy to win because he fucking rode in on a white horse and is wearing a white hat, and you want the bad guy to lose because he's a piece of shit and he cheated. And that doesn't happen in amateur wrestling.
Right. And the point, the example I like to use is you're every wrestling fan. People say wrestling fans are stupid, and and Chris has heard it, I've always said
they're not.
They are regular people who paid their money and turned their intellect off and said, tell me a story.
Exactly.
But as soon as you insult their intelligence, you lose them forever. And Chris used to pull me back a lot. Like, dude, this is too much gimmick. Relax. Let's not scare him away. Oh, yeah. Because he gets it more than anybody I've ever met. Once you lose them because you've insulted their intelligence, you may as well just go home.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny about that, though? Here's something. You may not know this, but there was a wrestler in Japan named Tiger Mask. And the office was fucking this guy really. And he came out and he wrote a book called Kayfabe. He exposed the business completely in Japan. And I'm talking 40 years ago. I mean, he completely talked about everything in the wrestling business. And the Japanese wrestling promotions really believed that professional wrestling in Japan was fucking dead. They thought, okay, we're never going to get over this. And you know what? They got over it because people didn't give a fuck, because they're there to be entertained. And every time you watch a great wrestling match, if the guys are really good at their craft, I don't care who the fuck you are, you're going to get drawn in and you're going to become a part of it, and you want to be a part of it. That's the whole point and beauty. You know, I've always believed, and then I'll shut up real quick. I've always believed that professional wrestling has as much place in the Olympics. Professional wrestling, like work professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Ice skating. You know, that you fucking, when somebody comes out and does an international high spot, you know, you fucking hold up a card, whether, you know, is it, oh, that's an 8.5 or a 9. You know, once you've educated people to that point, then was the heel believable? Was the baby face believable? Were there high spots? The mandatory curriculum they followed, was it all believable? And I think that's where wrestling can go now, because it has been completely exposed.
So would that be like an American professional wrestling match versus a Russian professional wrestling match? Is that how that would work?
Like two separate matches?
Yeah, well, but then what if the Russian in this particular match was the baby face, but the American decided to be the heel, and then you go out there and you judge.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, do you make one American match and then have a Russian match?
Yeah, you're talking about two separate matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the great thing is I think the possibilities then are unlimited, because it won't be limited to the conventions of the way we build it now. If you, like, you say, for example, you had a wrestling club in high school, like you have a computer club or an ice skating club or a hockey team or an amateur wrestling team. Imagine if you went to a high school professional wrestling match and the people were judged who was the best. Let's talk about who was the MVP of the evening. Who was the wrestler, heel or babyface, that was the most convincing in their character, just like an ice skating match, like an ice skating competition, right? Every single thing that an ice skater does is choreographed. So why would wrestling have to be any different than that? You go out there, you watch, and you go, oh, that guy was a great baby face. I give his performance an 8.9. And then the next guy comes out and he goes, yeah, he wasn't believable. His interview was mediocre. And the international he did, the pile driver he did, I could see, you know what I mean? All that criteria can now fit in, because it's the same exact mentality as watching an ice skating performance or ballet or whatever. You can judge it now in a completely different way. Just some thoughts. I've thought of this for decades, and I've always believed wrestling had another level it could go to, and maybe
that's interesting. But would you say there's two separate matches though? Like Russians have their own match, America have their own match, and then China.
Yeah, because otherwise, wouldn't it just turn into a shoot?
You think?
But
like if it was an American versus a Russian, wouldn't that just turn into
no? He's talking two separate matches. American versus American, Russian.
You'd have to.
It's so funny, man, because it's so funny. Your first thing you do is bring up Russians, because I actually wrestled against Russians in amateur wrestling in America. And then when I was in New Japan Pro Wrestling, they brought these Russians in to Japan. And the guy they brought in was the Russian that I had met in Iowa State in Ames, Iowa, the amateur wrestler that I met in Ames, Iowa. And so that's my point is, and they were sweethearts, man. They were just really nice fucking guys and badass motherfucking amateur wrestlers. Everybody knows how badass the Russians are, but that's a whole different realm. My point is it doesn't matter whether you're an American or a Russian. If you go out there, if tonight Victor Perkachev is the heel in this match, and this guy is the baby face, then it doesn't matter if you go out there and you're believable as the character. You pull off the conventions of baby face and heel, then it's boiled down to, were you believable? Did I willingly suspend my disbelief and believe you as a heel or a baby face? And it doesn't matter which side of the card you're on, because we've seen in professional wrestling over and over again, guys you would never believe would be baby faces turn into great baby faces, and vice versa, right?
Wow.
Well,
Just
then, Chris, let me pose this question to you then, because you brought this up earlier. Was what you said earlier that the current phase, the current fad of reality TV, that's all directly attributed to the professional wrestling angle, going all the way back to the sideshows.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the real world, oh gosh, Fear Factor, all these things, they're all drama and stories and,
Good
action
guys
and
and bad
comedy,
guys.
just like pro wrestling back in the 80s or even the 70s. Well, maybe not 70s so much, but 80s was more entertainment. I think that's where it took off from. And then all these, and of course, Tough Enough, that's a reality show as well. And they all just compiled after that. So yeah, I think pro wrestling has really started the big fad for the reality shows. That my belief, at least.
I'm with you. That's why I kind of feel like, as a culture in general, we should all pay a lot more respect to the art of what professional wrestling really is, because not just anybody can do it. Like Max, when we had our school back in Sacramento, one of the first things Chris used to love to show him how to do is just take your schoolboy bump. This is how you land. This is how you do it. Then he'd stand him up and walk into the ropes. This is how you run the ropes. Go ahead, show me. And then they would hit the rope and then come off and stop. I didn't tell you to stop. And he'd run them until they were ready to puke. Like, you sure you want to be a wrestler? Because this is not an easy man's fucking game.
It's not. It really isn't. But you have to be able to do those things, also be entertaining at the same time. So it's a hard craft to master. I mean, you see people all the time that can do the moves, but they can't capture the attention of the fans. They don't get over. You got to be able to do both. If you can do both,
it's so true. The funny part about it is I ran a school as well, and I can't tell you how many guys that I just, you guys are going to both, what I'm talking about. You just said it. I can't tell you how many guys just fucking teaching them how to hit the ropes, fucking jumped out of the ring and said, "Oh, I'm not doing this no more."
Well, you get those strip bruising across your back when you first start. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah, you get those adhesions on your rib cage, and you fucking, you learn how to hit the ropes right. And if you don't, the one thing that Red Bastien taught me that I to this day I love him for, because I being a big fucker and being able to run hard and hit those ropes, man. He taught me how important it was as a big man to hit those fucking ropes, because when you do and you're a big dude, man, that fucking ring rocks. And I broke the fucking ropes 3 times in my career. And every time I did, because Red taught me how to hit those fucking ropes right, I fucking landed on my feet outside the ring on the ground below, because I didn't turn my back to the ropes. And I watch wrestlers, even by today's standard, hit those fucking ropes and watch them do it and think, wow, God, if any of those ropes ever break, they're fucking dead.
I'm a back rope hitter too, but the trick is to grab that goddamn rope every time you hit it like it owes you money, because it is your lifeline. But I hit them like DiBiase. I got to do that to the back. I don't like that side renegade shit. It's not my bag.
Yeah, that's okay. But I'll tell you right now, it saved my life 3 times. And
absolutely.
Had I not hit it like that, and it was so funny when they broke, all I had to do was put my hand down on the apron, and it just rolled right out of the fucking ring and went right on the ground below me, and never got hurt once. Except I hit so hard one time it caused a double inguinal hernia, but it wasn't because of any other reason except the fact that I fucking was running so hard that when I hit the ground, the entirety of my insides just fucking shot down in my body and caused, severe hernias. But, had I not hit him the right way, I'd have broke my fucking neck.
Yeah, for sure.
Damn.
So
I feel like we've gone a long time here, Chris. What do you got to say?
No, I mean, I've said what I said about the reality of wrestling, as far as coming from, reality shows come from pro wrestling. So I said what I need to say.
And I feel like there's a lot more we can get into. Should we pick this up again next week?
Shoot.
Well, it's one of those. It's one of those subjects that's always fun to carry on. Because the
Yeah.
truth of the matter is, I remember sitting in Madison Square Garden with Vince one night, and we were talking about professional wrestling and in general. And I was a big fan. I'm a big fan of, and I always have been, of exposing the wrestling business, because to me that was its biggest Achilles heel. Is it spent more time trying to kayfabe than it did actually trying to run the business, in my opinion. And I always thought it was debilitating for the business. It always felt like it was the wrong direction. And I said to him, Vince, the thing about wrestling is if you do it long enough and you say it and believe it loud enough, eventually, what you say becomes reality. Perception becomes reality. And I watched him over the years. I'm certainly not taking credit for anything, because it only took him 30 fucking years to have the new Unreal, the new series that actually finally really fucking wrestling completely now. So now, if there was ever any ambiguity, all you gotta do is just go watch Unreal. Fucking shut up and go watch Unreal. But yeah, there's plenty to talk about in this, because I think it's a great subject. That's what wrestling's all about. And then what's funny is what you were talking about, Rob, is that's so amazing is that the line that gets blurred. That's the part that's so fun, is when you go, wow, that looked like a fucking shoot. That shit, those motherfuckers, the shit was on. And that's the part when you go, and then if you're out there if you're out there doing it, and then you go back in the dressing room and you felt the crowd feel that way, and you go shake the guy's hand that you just danced with, you realize, like I remember after the Chicago street fight with Mick and I against the Nasty Boys, and the feeling that was
a hell of a night.
Oh,
brutal.
And, there's a sense of pride that comes from fucking having an audience so fucking with you, because they don't know. They don't know. Are these guys shooting, or is this part of the game?
Yeah.
Or if they are, then it looks pretty real to me.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. That's the thing
unfortunately, the fact of the matter is, like we used to tell our students damn near daily, is when you are looking at a match on TV and you're like, oh, they're hot, they're really going at it, this thing turned real. No, that's when they're doing the top of their game. When you go, oh, this looks so fake, they're fucking doing it. They're really fighting right now. So you've got to be a good entertainer. You've got to tell the story in the right sequence of events. I'm not going to go out there with a big monster like Max Justice and immediately start throwing punches up to the face. Fuck no, I'm going to start working on the leg to try to get him down a little bit more to my level, right? You've got to use that psychology, because once you lose the fans, Chris, do you get them back?
No, it's hard. It's hard.
Hard as fuck.
You can. It's just very rare.
Okay.
You got to do something extraordinary.
You can. I can't. When I lose them, they're gone. I've seen you bring them back, but not me.
It's hard, though.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's a hard thing.
All right.
It's a hard thing to get people back once you've lost them.
Yeah.
And didn't we all learn that as wrestlers? That they better be standing on the finish.
Yeah.
And that's the part that's when you're good at your craft. And the other side of that is, to be that good at that craft takes, I don't give a fuck who you are. It takes years of understanding that psychology and being able to go out there and do that. And, I think, was it you, Rob, that sent me the thing with, somebody sent me a thing with Bret Hart talking about Andre the Giant. And,
fucking Bret, what a cunt.
Yeah.
He needs to stop. He just
needs to stop, Bret. Shut up, Bret. The whole goddamn Bret. In fact, let me say this. If you actually believe that the entirety of the wrestling world was trying to hold the Hitman down because he was just too great, seriously, fuck you, dude. Fuck all the way off. Brett was absolutely a general, but Brett was not the wrestling business, no matter what he says.
I
There's
agree.
there's very few people that can say they were the wrestling business. In fact, I can really only think of two or I'd say three maybe that were really the fucking guys that were unstoppable. I'd have to start with Hogan. I'd have to go with The Rock, and I'd have to go with Stone Cold. And Taker's in there, but in a different light because
But even those guys never said I am wrestling like
no,
Brett.
you're right.
has
No,
come out
you're
and said.
right. You're right. 100%. No,
Yeah.
no, exactly. I mean, and there are very few people though that had the impact. I mean, Brett was probably the greatest middle card wrestler of all time, if you want to fucking put it that way. But he a main event wrestler? I'm sorry, he wouldn't fill arenas every night. That's all there is to it.
Right.
Yeah. Great technical wrestler. I mean, he could do it all, but couldn't put fans in the seat.
But you put a microphone in his hand of the fans who were there taking a nap.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. So, that's just it. I mean, Brett's a great wrestler. He's a great technician. He's, he had a great run. He'll never be forgotten. He's carved a very powerful niche for himself, but he's never going to be remembered at the level of, a Hogan, a Rock, or a fucking Stone Cold, or a Taker. He's just not. No. He's not one of those legends, man. He's just not up there with that caliber of fucking guy that you put him on a card and the fucking arena is going to be full when they walk in.
As far as being a mid-carder, though, he is a definite after intermission guy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. For sure.
No, like he's semi-main every night, but
I see.
He's a perfect semi-main guy, but he's not the guy that you're waiting to fucking see. You're waiting to see Taker. You're waiting to see fucking Hogan. You're waiting to see The Rock. You're waiting to see Stone Cold come out there and do exactly what they do, because that's what, to me, that's the living definition of great professional wrestling, right? You said it. You can't just be a wrestler. It's 100% wrestling and 150% microphone.
Yeah. Entertainment. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's
all right, guys. Look, we are rolling right up to the end of our time slot. Why you making me be the fucking responsible one, Chris?
I don't know. I want to see how long you would let it go on for, so it was kind of fun to watch.
All right, look, we got to take it home. Let's come back on this next week. You know, guys, I'm going to reach out to old Danny the Snake Man Hayes. He's a great referee. He's been on our show before. He's fantastic. And I think maybe getting a ref's opinion in on this topic would just be helpful.
Well, the great thing about a ref is, I mean, that's the other beautiful part of wrestling, isn't it? I mean, the great part about wrestling is there's always a third man in the ring.
That's right.
And that guy's as essential to fucking wrestling, and we all know it, as the two guys that are main event standing in the middle of the fucking ring. You can't do it without the third man.
There was that one ref, man, back in California. I wish I could remember his name. But whenever me and Chris would wrestle each other and he was our ref, dude, he had to do a lot of running back and forth, passing messages back to each other. Tell him to let me sell for like 30 seconds. We had so much fun.
Tell Rob stop overselling. No, just kidding.
All right, quit milking it. Nope, I'm going to milk it for a minute. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us this week. You can catch us right here. I can't believe it took me to the end of the show. ASN for Life. That's our YouTube. Give us a thumbs up. Please give us a like and a subscription. Pass it around. We're going to be bringing you more information about our Artists Against Abuse cause as the details are rolling out and things are being finalized. We're going to provide some links so you can make direct donations right to the charity. All kinds of good shit. We will see you guys back here for the first show of 2026 next Tuesday, right here, ASN for Life. Guys, anything in closing?
Love you guys, man. Thank you for including me. I can't say thank you enough, man. It's been an honor, and I look forward to next year and hanging out with you guys for another year.
Oh yeah.
Fucking awesome.
All right, fellas. See you guys next week.